So I would like to record all the classes where I'm seeing that there are people out there who go to my channel on YouTube and they are regularly hearing the classes because I present very systematic Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav course. They are regularly attending other people outside and the membership, they subscribe. Every time I get email saying that two people have subscribed. So I'm sure there is a listener somewhere out there. Most of the people right now is on internet. And one of the devotee was telling, who is IT in charge, that we should have a strong presentation on internet because that's the place where people are. And if they're looking for some technical content, where they find. So I really like that idea. Anyways, so we'll start now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiret Nastprayasya Bhadrashu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Nastaki. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कंचना गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय पंचकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु व्यवश धृतानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नाम संकीर्तन की जय हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य दिव्यांग जय प्रभुपाद की जय नित्य गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल की जय हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा सो we are getting into chapter 5, the cause of all causes. Before we talk about chapter 5, I would like to just remind you that chapter 5 is based off questions those were asked in chapter 4. So if you look at chapter 4, the title process of creation, Parikshit Maharaj is asking set of questions. So in verse number 6 and 7, he asks, how does the Lord create, maintain, and destroy this universe? How does he enact primary and secondary creations? So, and then he further asks, how does he expands himself when he is creating primary and secondary world? How does he manage it? So before answering this set of questions which were asked by sages, which is basically asked by Parikshit Maharaj, but sages are talking. Sukadeva Goswami does very intense prayer, and that's how chapter 4 ends. So chapter 5 basically answers those questions. And this chapter is titled as Cause of All Causes. So cause of all causes, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karan Karanam. So Sarva Karan Karanam, Sarva means all. Sarva Karan Karanam is nothing but Lord Himself. So the title itself answer that question. That cause of creation is Lord Himself. So Narad is, so this is a discussion, this chapter is discussion between Narad and Lord Brahma, which is spoken by Sukdev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj, which is being narrated by Sutta Goswami to the sages of Naimisaranya. So these are the layers of narration that's going on right now in the background. So Narad, who is son of Lord Brahma, reached to Lord Brahma and asked him that I thought you are the cause of the creation, but I see that you are always meditating. So who you are meditating upon? And then he asked questions. Yadrupam, Yad Adhisthanam. Please tell me what are the elements of this material creation and on which it is resting upon. Then Lord Brahma starts answering his question. And this section make us very humble, extremely humble, because sometimes if you are part of some activity, small here and there, little bit, we are this is material mindset, by the way. We are very much trying to uh, show that I'm the creator, I did it, I am doing it, this and that, showing power, that it's mine, it's because I have done this, I have done that. Lord Brahma is being worshipped by thousands and millions of people all over the globe. So his position is supremely exalted, extremely exalted. But when Lord Narad is approaching him and asking him, can you please tell us who is the real creator? Lord Brahma is extremely, extremely honest here, very honest. And he clearly tells that I am not the creator. He could take the credit, but as acharyas have presented, is very profoundly, very strongly declaring that he is not the creator. He says that, in fact, I do not much. I really don't do much. All I do is that the primary elements are created and I just assemble those, put it together. So we'll get into the details of that. But Brahma takes very, very humble mood and he explains that he is not the uh, real creator. He also says that the people who are bewildered by Maya think of me as the supreme. Then he starts answering all the questions that Narad has asked. So that's how this chapter will uh, go through. We are mostly going to hear the answer or answers given by Lord Brahma to Narad Muni, who is the real creator. So before I get into I think we have gone through a few of these verses, but I'll quickly read those so that everybody can understand where we are and we can get into the technical details of this chapter. But let me at least go through what I have gone before, and then I'll open if there is any questions before I start talking new verses. So discussion starts. Narad Muni is asked Brahmaji, O chief amongst the demigods, O firstborn living entity, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Please tell me that transcendental knowledge which specifically directs one to the truth of the individual soul and super soul. So please direct me to that answer which help one understand soul and super soul. My dear father, Narad is saying, please describe factually the symptoms of this manifest world. What is its background? How is it created? How is it conserved? And under whose control is all that being done? So this is the set of questions. Yad rupam, yad adhisthanam, yatah srishtam idam prabhu, yad samastham, yat param yatcha, tat tattvam vada tatvatah. Tat tattvam vada tatvatah. Please tell us, please help me understand tat tattvam, those truth. What are those truth? Yad rupam, yad adhisthanam, yad srishtam, yad samastham, yat param, yatcha. So these truth, vada tatvatah. Please tell me in detail. Tat tattvam vada tatvatah. Please tell me that where what is the answer of these six questions. So yad rupam means characters. What it is, this universe, how this universe is characterized as. Yad adhisthanam, where is taking shelter. Yatra srishtam, and who has created it. Yat samastham, and how it is protected, how it is conserved, lifespan of this creation. We know that lifespan of all universal creation is the breathing period of Lord Brahma, exhale and inhale time. Yat param, and what it is depending on, yat cha, and what are the element that it is composed of. So this is the question. These are the questions asked by Narad Muni in verse number 2. My dear father, all this is known to you scientifically because whatever was created in the past, whatever will be created in the future, or whatever is being created at present, as well as everything within the universe is within your grip, just like a walnut. My dear father, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing? And under whom are you working? What is your real position? Do you alone create all entities with material elements by your personal energy? So what is your original position? What is your real position? Jiva Swarupanitra Krishna Das. My dear Lord, I'm just your servant. Beautiful, beautiful questions asked by. My dear Father, please describe factually the symptoms of this manifest world. What is its background? How is it created? How is it conserved? And under whose control all of these things are being done? So these six questions I wanted to emphasize. As the spider easily creates the networks of its cobweb and manifests its power of creation without being defeated by others, so also you yourself, by employment of your self-sufficient energy, create without and any other help. So here Lord Narad Muni is giving credit. He's saying that you, by your self-sufficient energy, create without any other help. That was my understanding. Whatever we can understand by the nomenclature, characteristics, and feature of a particular thing, superior, inferior, or equal, eternal, or temporary, is not created from any source other than that of your lordship. Thou so great. Narmuna is appreciating. Yet we are moved to wonder about the existence of someone more powerful than you when we think of your great austerity in perfect discipline. Although your good self is so powerful in the matter of creation, my dear Father, you know everything, and you are the controller of all. Therefore, may all that I have inquired from you be kindly instructed to me so that I may be able to understand it as your student. So now the question comes that Narad Muni is giving some credit to Lord Brahma. Is that credit factual or he just appreciating? The answer is no. The answer is it's factual. Because Lord Brahma, what Lord Brahma does, other living entity also cannot do. So Lord Brahma does play a very, very important, very, very significant role in the creation, in the process of creation. So he does deserve all of these appreciation, all of these appreciation. He is important personality when it comes to understand the process of creation. So that is why he is requesting, Narada Muni is requesting that please instruct me as a student. When Arjun was bewildered in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he reached Lord and he accepted Lord that, oh, this is very complex. This whole thing is very complex, beyond my understanding. I don't know how your energy is working, my dear Lord. So I would like to surrender myself as your student. And then please instruct me. Please teach me. Please help me understand. Should I fight or should I not fight? So Narad Muni is taking here similar approach, similar mood. Similar moods are being exhibited by Narad Muni here. That please instruct me as your student. Because I thought that you are the one who is doing all of that. But I see that you are always meditating on somebody. Then Lord Brahma from here started saying, my dear boy, my son, being merciful to all, you have asked all these questions because I have been inspired to see into the process of the Almighty Personality of Godhead. So I have the access to the activity of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I could, or Burma is saying, I could factually see, I can understand how this creation has taken place. Whatever you have spoken about me is not false, because unless and until one is aware of the personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate truth beyond me, one is sure to be illusioned by observing my powerful activities. Wow, Lord Brahma ki jai. Very strong, profound statement. So whatever you have spoken for sure is not false. And this is how it appears also, he's saying. The person who does not have access, the person who are not advanced in their Krishna consciousness. He's saying, I have been inspired to see into the prowess of Almighty Personality of Godhead, powers of Almighty Personality of Godhead. I have been inspired. And the people who do not have this vision, who cannot see the power, Supreme Personality of Godhead, it's very obvious that they can easily get illusioned by observing the complexity of material activities. So Lord Brahma is definitely a very empowered person. Why? Because he himself is devotee. Later chapter we'll come to learn that when he was created there was nothing. All around darkness, darkness, darkness. There's nothing. He did not know who he is even at first place. What is the purpose of his creation? And then tapa 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 and all of that. So we'll see in the next chapters. So Canto 2 and Canto 3 is very technical canto, especially very hard for teacher to present these concepts, and you will see that the complexity is coming. So he's saying that the people who are not very advanced in their Krishna consciousness, they cannot understand that. So it's not only Lord Brahma who can understand the creation. When we study Nectar of Devotion, Sri Rupa Goswami, when he's presenting the type of bhakti, sadhana bhakti, then bhava bhakti, then prema bhakti, he is very systematically explaining that through process of bhakti, when devotee advance in their Krishna consciousness, they are empowered. They are given the realization to not only understand the external energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they are also given access to understand internal energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is Sandhini, Shamvit, and Hladini Shakti. So that's what exactly is being accepted by Lord Brahma here. He's saying that I have this vision, I have access to see the real activity that Supreme Personality of Godhead does. So with that access, I can see, but ordinary human being cannot see. So what is there for us? What is the meaning? What is the application of that statement for us? The application of that statement is, if we have not advanced in our Krishna consciousness, then this problem happens. Lord Brahma is saying, one will be illusioned, thinking me and mine, not knowing that Sarvakaranam Karanam is Supreme Lord. But through process of bhakti, as Rupa Goswami is saying, as we advance, Krishna gives that strength, gives that realization by which one can also understand the internal potency of Supreme Personality of Godhead. I create, he says, after the Lord creation by his personal effulgence. Just as when the sun manifests its fire, the moon, the firmament, the influential planets, and the twinkling stars also manifest their brightness. Beautiful example. Sun is the source of energy, and other such as the moon, the firmament, and other planets. In the night you would see that if you look into the sky, all of this sounds like a star and has some, lights coming out of it. So he says that all of them are appearing to be bright because of the presence of sun. This is a beautiful example. Sunlight makes all other element to appear bright. The life on Earth planet is also managed by sun, right? All of these plants, they are in the process of photosynthesis. That's happening due to presence of light. So very beautiful example. And these are the practical examples coming from Shastra. Lord Burman says that as sun makes other planets and stars and moons bright, likewise the presence of Supreme Personality of Godhead makes me be the secondary creator, but the real source is Supreme Lord. I create after the Lord's creation by his personal effulgence. Just as when the sun manifests its fire, the moon, the firmament, the influential planets, and the twinkling stars also manifest their brightness. This is essential verse of this chapter. That's the answer. Hence, I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Vasudeva Krishna, the personality of Godhead, whose invincible potency influences them to call me the Supreme Controller. Lord Brahma ki jai. Tasmai namo bhagavate Vasudevaya dhimahi yanmaya durjaya mam badanti jagadguru. Mam badanti jagadguru. So you can see through series of verses here, Lord Burma is very nicely explaining. And now he is switching to explain the process of creation. And first obeisances he does to Lord Krishna's Vasudeva form, Vasudeva. So we'll get into the discussion of material creation. Before we get into that, is there any question anybody has? Is it clear? Let me ask that thing first. Are we understanding what is the discussion? That's the question. Are we good?
Yes, Prabhu. Very much understanding, Prabhu.
Good, thank you. Bhaskar Prabhu, are you good?
Yes, Prabhu, I'm good. It's clear.
Thank you. That means we can proceed now. So from here, he starts answering, and we'll be very thoughtful, very careful understanding some of these terms, because this will definitely help us understand how this creation has taken place. So he is the word Bilaj Manaya Yashya Sthatum Iksha Pateyamuya Bimuhita Bikante Mamoham Iti Durdiha. Very powerful statement. Bimuhita Bikante Mamham Iti Durdiha. Durdiha means, Durdiha is basically a term which is used for daring beyond one's limitations. Durdiha means daring, making claim of something that is beyond, one's jurisdictions. The illusory energy of the Lord cannot take precedence, being ashamed of her position. Bilajya Mayaya. Bilajya means ashamed. But those who are bewildered by her always talk Bikanthe, nonsense, Vimuhita, bewildered. What nonsense they talk? Being absorbed in the thoughts, Mam Hum, it is I and it is mine. So this I and mine is nothing but Lord Brahma says nonsense. And then he says, we are starting Dravayam Karma Chakalasya Swabhava Jiva Evacha Vasudevat Paro Brahman Nacha Anyo Arthavasti Tattvataha. Supremmost answer here. He says that the 5 elementary ingredients of creation, and what are the interaction thereof, the combination of those, set up the eternal, what are those? Time. And the intuition or nature of the living beings are all different part and parcel of the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. And in truth, there is no other value in them. So he says, Dravayam, Karma, Kala, Swabhava. These are in living entity itself. Jiva is also there. Swabhava Jiva, Evacha. So Dravayam, Karma, Kala, Swabhava, or Jiva, soul. In fact, these 5 are elementary ingredient of creation, and various combination of these 5 elements are giving variety of other creation. And he's saying that these are nothing but part and parcel of Lord Vasudeva. So these 5 elements are again only at this place in 5th chapter of 2nd canto. These 5 elements are mentioned. Later in other places they are mentioned. Somewhere it's 21, somewhere 23, somewhere 24, somewhere 28 elements of creation. But this is the only place where it's very nicely consolidated and it's presented by these 5 elements. So we'll expand on this concept a little bit more. So this material world is various combination of these 5 elements: Dravya, Karma, Kala, Swabhava, and Jiva. Please remember that. You should go ahead and remember that. And these are part and parcel of Lord Vasudeva. So Yad Rupam, what it is composed of? It is composed of these 5 elements. Little bit technical, but again, we have to be technical also to understand this concept first. And once you understand it, then we can use our own language to explain it. So who would like to read this? This is basically presented in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Just to give you the background, Uddhav is talking to Lord Sri Krishna. And Uddhav Gita, many of you know, right? So this is coming from Uddhav Gita. In 22nd chapter, Uddhav is asking to Lord himself. Here, Lord Brahma is talking to Narad Muni. So Narad Muni is asking to Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma says that these are the 5 principal elements by which this material world is created. And various combination of these elements gives various, living entity or the form and feature that is existing. And in this context, Lord himself, Krishna in Uddhav Gita, is talking to Uddhav. And Uddhav asks the same question, that can you please help me understand? So Uddhav Gita, it's very much, if you read 11th canto, it's very much summarize the discussion that Krishna spoke to Arjun through Bhagavad Gita. The same subject has been presented in a different way. But if you go through the verses, and you should study that, then you will see that there is similar concept Krishna is presenting. So what is the element by which material world is created? Okay. And I would like one of you to read it. Please read it. Yeah, please read it. And then I'll explain later.
Text 1 to 3. Uddhava inquired, My dear Lord, O Master of the universe, how many different elements of creation have been enumerated by the great sages? I have heard you personally describe a total of 28, but some authority says that there are 26 elements, while others cite 25 or else 7, 9, 6, 4 or 11. And even others says that there are 17, 16 or 13. What did each of the sages have in mind when he calculated the creative elements in such different ways? O Supreme Eternal, kindly explain this to me. Text 4. Lord Krishna replied, Because all material elements are present everywhere, it is reasonable that different learned Brahmanas have analyzed them in different ways. All such philosophers spoke under the shelter of my mystic potency, and thus they could say anything without contradicting the truth. Text 7. Who best among men? Because subtle and gross elements mutually enter into one another. Philosophers may calculate the number of basic material elements in different ways according to their personal desire.
Yes. So I would like you to basically understand this concept. Again, I'm not saying this. This is Krishna personally saying. And that's what I like talking. What Krishna has said is what truth. So Lord personally is telling here. Okay. And a very clear message here. But did somebody understand? Can somebody summarize what exactly is being spoken here? Can somebody summarize from verse number 1 to 7? What exactly is being told here? Is it clear? Before I speak, can somebody tell me what is the gist of this series of verses? What it's presenting? Who can give a trial?
So it is presenting mainly the basic elements required for the creation. In some of them will understand as 7 different levels. What I feel is some Mola Prakriti and then Panchabhuta, Pancha Gnanendriya, Karmendriya, all those together to be 24. Is my understanding correct? And mind, intelligence, and ahankar, all those put together, there are 20.
Yes, Prabhu. So you said something along that line, which is correct. And there is a little bit more to it. So Krishna basically is telling to Uddhav, Uddhav is asking that I have heard that there are 28 elements of the creation, but I have also seen somewhere there are 26, somewhere there are 24, somewhere there are 17, somewhere there are 9, somewhere there are 5. So how these numbers are different? Why these numbers are different? And that was also very confusing. When I started studying scripture, I would say somewhere, it says that, like for example here, only 5 says here, only 5 here. So Brahma is saying that these are the only 5 elements: Dravam, Dravayam, Karma, Kala, Swabhava, Jiva. Okay. And then if you go study Uddhav Gita, and then there are 28 elements. In Bhagavad Gita, it talks about 24. I said, wow, is it 25, 24, 28? How many exactly are the number of elements for the material creation? Then when I was studying Uddhav Gita, I came to this series of verses. Right away, I made a PowerPoint presentation. Right away, I put those, so that I will remember it. If you see things like that in your regular study, you should right away capture it. So this is not, intended for anybody. This was just something that I came across through my study, right away I created. That I need to, basically understand this, because I see whenever the discussion starts on these elements and somebody is giving class and there are 100, 200 students, all of them, Prabhu, I don't understand. What is this? Or this takes a lot of time. In technical study session, I have seen this happening. So
Also,
the answer.
Also, Prabhu, in the first canto, third chapter, it says 16 elements totally. 16 tattva,
Yeah.
they say 16.
Yes.
So in that 16, 15 are Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, and all those things. And they added mind. So totally it becomes 16. In Bhagavatam itself, it was given.
Right.
So,
many places these numbers are given differently. Yes. Go ahead.
yes, Prabhu, that's what I would like to say.
Yeah. So I agree. Many places, if you study, you will see these numbers are given different. Did anybody here come across anything like that? Any one of you have experienced what Nadik Babu is saying? That these numbers are given differently, different places?
Yes, Prabhu. I mean, like you are saying, I think sometimes it's confusing that how many elements. But again, like Lord Krishna has said in this text himself, that it's depending on the understanding of the munis or philosophers or those who are describing, that they are giving different, but the truth is the same. So they're giving their own understanding of it, but within that guidance of the truth. So yeah.
So depending on the context.
Exactly.
Depending on the context, what has to be emphasized, and based upon that, these great sages have given these numbers, because subtle elements are embedded into gross elements. Okay, so when we are talking about earth, which is gross, it has sound, it has taste, it has aroma, all 5 subtle senses are there. So just by saying earth, you are also saying all other elements that is subtle, that is embedded into earth. Okay, so that's how you have to understand. If you see these numbers different, that means you have to understand that there are other elements which are embedded. Okay, so let's see how does it work now. So although here Lord Brahma has spoken about these 5 elements, but these 5 elements can be understood like this. Dravya comprised 20 elements, which is 5 Mahabhuta, 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 working senses, and 5 sense object. So that 20. So Dravya include these 20. And Jiva carries karma and their nature, Shobhava. And Kal is Lord himself, right? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Kalo Asmiham. And Mahat, the manifested manifested elements of material creation, which is coming from Pradhan. So when Pradhan is impregnated with Lord glance and time, then it becomes Mahat. So Kal has this Lord part also can be understood here as super soul and Mahatattva. And then Shobhava, 3 modes of material nature. Living entity is showing their behavior due to influence of 3 modes of material nature. And karma is the result of false ego and mind. Right? So you can see like that. Okay, this says only 5, but also it can be understood like this. The longest and largest elaboration on these material elements are this 28 number. The Lord, soul, 3 modes of material nature, Mahat, false ego, mind, and then these 20 elements that comprise make it 28. Somewhere it is also called that 25 elements, 20 of these, and then the Lord, soul, nature, Mahat, and false ego, 5 of these. So 25. I have described the 9 basic elements as the enjoying soul, nature's primeval manifestation of the Mahat Tattva, false ego, either air, fire, water, and earth. So Krishna is saying that here I'm going to tell you in that context, I'm going to tell you that there are 9, but please understand that these enumerations are telling the same thing. All such philosophers spoke under the shelter of my mystic potency, and thus they could say anything without contradicting the truth. That is the line that we have to remember. They could say anything based upon the context, but please know that they are not in contradiction to the real truth. With that, I would like to give a pause here today, 8:06. See if there is any questions. Let's take some time to share our realization and our understanding on this subject before we adjourn for today. And please never ever say that, oh, this is a very simple thing, I know it. We don't know anything. Okay, nothing is simple. Everything is very difficult, very complex. You know, the more we understand Shastra, the more it reveals. That's what it says. That same statement that is appearing to us today in some format, 5 years down to line when you advance, the same statement will appear in different format. Something that is appearing for you today that I understand it, 5 years down to line you will get confused. Oh, I don't understand, because there are some other understanding that has built up and that is making this statement not understand. So always understand that part, that we are just trying to understand. That's the right way. We're trying to understand. We have some understanding, but we should never think that I have complete understanding and I have understood it. These are nothing but just some sort of illusion. That's how I see it. Okay. I can't say that I understand some of these things. Very difficult. So Lord Narada himself is basically saying that means no, sure, Lord Narada is telling her that I don't understand. Can you please tell me who is the real creator? So this section would be definitely very technical. The entire Canto 2 will be very technical. So I'll try to keep the pace in a way that the contents are clear to us before we keep on moving too fast. Okay, anybody has anything that they would like to ask? Any questions, any clarification, anything?
Prabhuji, why Swabhava is in two places? Like in Jiva, it is Karma and Swabhava, and separately Swabhava.
Yeah, I know that you'll catch that. Yes, so when I share that slide, let me share it once again. Are you seeing now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So we are seeing here Jiva, Karma and Swabhava. And then there is another element Swabhava here, right?
Yes.
So that doesn't make Swabhava to be counted twice. That doesn't mean that one thing I would like to share. I should have explained that. Like for example, you'll see karma here and you see karma here itself, right?
Yes.
So we cannot say that the karma has been counted twice. No, karma has been counted only once. But the point here is that Jiv is identified, the soul is identified based upon their swabhava and based upon their action that they are part of. So this soul is carrier of these two things. Okay, if you are very advanced, then your action becomes devotional services, and your swabhava becomes the swabhava that is aligned with the teaching of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so that's why this is mentioned here. And swabhava, what is the swabhava? Swabhava is combination of three guna. Okay, so in fact, Swabhav is the one that you can count only once. So Swabhav is the combination of three guna. How is our Swabhav coming? This is coming from these three guna. And this Jiva has this Swabhav, which is combination of three guna. So under Jiva, we can basically say that there is nothing. You can say there is nothing. But I just wanted to explain that how you can see some overlap and how these things, works together. So Swabhav is combination of these modes of material nature, and karma is combination of false ego and mind. So false ego, mind, and intelligence. So now this intelligence is here with Jiva. So Jiva here, if you open it, it will, you can call it soul or intelligence, like that, So it depends again how these things are presented. But that doesn't mean, one thing is for sure, and we will see in later discussion. For example, when we come to this discussion here, just to make sense, you ask this question. So when you are saying ether, okay, ether has the sound, air has the sound, ether has this, air has touch, ether, and sound. So it's like that. So when you say ether has the quality of sound. Okay, so like that. So when you are saying Jiva has this karma and Swabhava, like that. Yes. But again, karma is also coming because of their false ego. Krishna says that, due to their false ego, kartahamiti manyate. Prakriti kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasva ahankar vimuratma kartahamiti manyate. Oh, I'm the doer. So if I'm the doer, then based upon that, that is your karma. Whatever is mind, thinking, feeling, and willing, that will give you the karma. So these things are none of these elements are completely discrete. Just by saying the Lord, all of that you can say, because Sarva Karan Karanam is Krishna. So cause of all the causes is Krishna. So Krishna means everything, right?
Yes.
Right. Many places we say. So you don't have to even count this. You don't have to even count those things. You can just say, "Oh, Krishna." Soul is also part and parcel of Krishna, right?
Yes.
Soul is not away from Krishna, but there is soul which is away and acting. Krishna says that, oh, due to forgetfulness, soul gets into the material world, and they think that, oh, I'm enjoying. So that is a different form of the soul, because soul is in the forgetfulness state. So these things are not completely discrete. Maya adhikshena prakriti sute sacharacharam. So three modes of material nature, Krishna says that they are operating under my instruction. So how you can say that they are separate from Krishna? But there are living entity which are captured by modes of material nature. Is it clear, devotees? Yes. Thank you for asking that. I knew that I was expecting that somebody should ask me that question. Anything else anybody has? Gopal Gatu Prabhu. Is it clear?
No problem. No problem. Yes, Prabhu. It's clear, Prabhu. Understanding a little bit, yes.
Little bit? Why little bit?
No, I'm trying to understand, Prabhu. Yes, I'm understanding.
At least the words should be clear, right? The concept that is being spoken.
Yeah, it's getting clearer and clearer, Prabhu. Yes, previously I also understood a little bit differently. Now, when you are explaining, it's becoming more clearer and clearer. Yes. Yeah, I was also confused.
This was confusing. This could be confusing. Like why these numbers are counted separately. Can it be counted together? Yes. And that's why Krishna is saying that this could be even 4, 11, 9, 7, 5, 25, 28, however you want to call it, whatever you want to emphasize on. So.
Yes.
Okay, anything else? If nothing, then let's adjourn here. And I'll see you all in our Sunday feast today. Vanchkalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhuvya patitanam pavaneve vaisnave namo namah anant koti vaishnavind ki jai. Assemble Bhaktavind ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya He Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.